If this video has appeared on your screen, it is not by accident. It is a signal. Your observer phase is officially complete. This is not a spiritual metaphor. This is not a self-help concept. It is a recognized and critical stage of consciousness development, a stage deeply rooted in the fundamental physics of the observer effect. You have just passed a final hidden test, and the arrival of this message is your notification of completion. It is your graduation certificate. In the next 50 minutes, I am going to prove to you why that excruciating period of feeling stuck, of watching your life from a distance, was the most important work you have ever done. I will reveal the new powers of conscious creation you have just unlocked, and I will give you the new set of rules you must now live by as an active participant in reality, not a passive bystander. This entire process is governed by quantum mechanics. This isn't a theory. It is the science that powers the device you are watching this on. It is the bedrock of our modern world. And this science proves beyond any doubt that your focused attention, your observation, is the force that collapses waves of infinite potential into the solid particles of your lived experience. Your consciousness is not a passive camera recording the world. It is the active projector creating it. We are going to take that laboratory-proven science and apply it directly to the fabric of your life, right now. You've felt it, haven't you? That strange and maddening sensation of being on the sidelines of your own existence. A feeling of watching events unfold as if through a thick pane of glass, your input seemingly meaningless, your desires echoing in a void. You felt like a ghost in your own story, watching relationships, opportunities, and timelines flow past you without your consent. You did the work. You meditated, you journaled, you visualized, but the external world remained stubbornly unresponsive. You believed this was a problem. You thought it was a sign of failure, a spiritual plateau, or worse, evidence that this entire framework of reality creation was a lie. It was the exact opposite. That feeling of profound stillness, of forced observation, of being unable to interfere. That was the final exam. The frustration you felt was the difficulty of the test. The confusion was the complexity of the curriculum. You were being tested on your ability to hold the highest state of neutral, powerful awareness in the face of a reality you desperately wanted to change. And by virtue of hearing these words now, you have passed. If you have felt that agonizing sense of watching from the sidelines, and if this message of validation hits you on a soul level, confirming something you knew deep down but couldn't articulate, hit the like button now. It is more than an algorithm signal. Let it be your conscious signal to the universe, a cosmic signature that confirms your acceptance of this graduation. It makes it real. To understand what you just accomplished, we must introduce the central metaphor that governs this entire process, the quantum simulator. Your life, especially over the last few months or even years, has not been a random series of events. It has been a hyper-realistic, high-fidelity training simulation designed for one purpose: to graduate you from a passive observer into a conscious creator. You were in the final training module. The goal of this module was not to teach you how to act. It was to teach you how to see the infinite field of potential realities, all the things you could be, do, and have, and to simply observe them without collapsing one prematurely out of fear, impatience, or desperation. You had to master the art of non-interference before you could be trusted with the power of deliberate creation. You had to prove to the system, to the universe itself, that you could hold the power of your attention steady, without flinching. You have now proven it. The simulation is ending its observational protocol. The controls are being brought online. By the end of this transmission, you will move from feeling like a spectator in the stands to knowing, with every cell in your body, that you are the architect on the field. So let's step inside this quantum simulator. Let's look at the physics that govern its operation. For your entire life, up until this very moment, you have been interacting with a fundamental principle of reality without the user manual. That principle is called superposition. In the simplest terms, superposition means that before it is observed, everything exists as pure, undefined potential. It is not one thing or another. It is everything all at once. Imagine the screen of your reality simulator. On that screen before you look is not a fixed image. It is a shimmering holographic cloud of infinite possibilities. In that cloud is the version of you that is a celebrated artist, and the version that is a bankrupt accountant. In that cloud is the relationship that heals your soul, and the one that breaks your heart. Every single potential future you can and cannot imagine exists simultaneously in this wave of pure information. They are all equally real. They are all equally available. When you, the conscious observer, turn your attention to that screen, something extraordinary happens. That act of looking, of focusing your awareness, forces that infinite cloud of potential to choose. It collapses the wave function. The shimmering haze solidifies into a single, concrete, particle-based experience, a single frame of your life. This is the observer effect, and it is the engine of creation. The problem is that for most of your life you have been collapsing reality unconsciously. You have been a panicked operator, your focus pulled by fear, by doubt, by past programming. You feel a flicker of financial anxiety, and your attention instantly collapses the wave into the reality of not enough money. You feel a pang of loneliness, and your focus immediately solidifies the experience of being alone. You have been creating your reality by default, based on the vibrations of your deepest wounds. The universe recognized your potential to become a master creator, but it could not hand the controls of the simulator to an operator who kept crashing it out of habit. So it enrolled you in a mandatory training program. The final exam of that program is what you have called your observer phase. So, what is the observer phase in spiritual awakening, from a physics perspective? It's your consciousness learning not to interfere with superposition. It's the universe teaching you how to look at the shimmering screen of infinite potential, with all its terrifying and beautiful possibilities, and not flinch. It was a rigorous training in holding your focus steady, in becoming a neutral, non-judgmental witness. The goal was to train you to see the potential for lack without collapsing into lack, to see the potential for heartbreak without solidifying that heartbreak, to hold your attention on the quantum field itself, rather than on any one of its possible outcomes. This is the master skill. This is what you have just achieved. And this achievement has a name. We call it the observer graduation. This isn't just a metaphor for feeling better. It is a literal, verifiable shift in your quantum signature. Your graduation means you have demonstrated to the source of all reality that you can hold a powerful, neutral focus. You have proven that your consciousness can serve as a stable anchor point, capable of sustaining the superposition of the highest potentials without being spooked into choosing a lesser reality out of fear or impatience. You are no longer a reactive creator. You have become a stable creative vortex. This is why all the old methods stopped working for you. You were trying to hustle, to grind, to force your will upon the world. But inside the simulator, these actions register as interference. They are the energetic equivalent of a panicked pilot grabbing the yoke and sending the training module into a nosedive. The harder you tried to visualize a specific outcome, the more you were communicating to the system, I am not yet stable enough to be trusted. I am still trying to control the outcome from a place of fear that I won't get it. You were trying to do more to get what you wanted, but the test was never about doing. The entire exam was about your state of being. It was about mastering pure, non-judgmental observation. And because you are receiving this message, it means you passed. The training is over. The interference protocols have been lifted. Which brings us to the new paradigm. Your entire reason for being here has just been inverted. Before, your training was about how to not collapse reality prematurely. Now, your entire purpose is to choose and collapse reality with absolute precision. This is the new paradigm. Conscious collapse. The controls are now in your hands. You are no longer just the observer. You have been promoted. Think back to a moment in the last few months where you felt profoundly stuck, just watching. Can you now reframe that as a moment of intense training in non-interference? See that stillness not as stagnation, but as the final grueling moments of your mastery exam. The moment you proved you could hold the line. The moment you graduated. We have been operating under a fundamental misunderstanding, a profound but necessary illusion. We believe the observer phase was about us watching the world, waiting for it, testing it, looking out onto the screen of the quantum simulator to see which potential reality would finally flicker into existence. This is only half of the equation, and it is the less important half. Prepare for a paradigm shift, because the truth of your training is far more profound than you have been led to believe. The central paradox of this entire process is this. You thought you were watching the world to see what would happen. The revelation is that the universe was watching you to see who you would become in the stillness. Let that land. Feel the weight of that reversal. You were not the audience watching a cosmic play. You were the lead actor on a solitary stage, and the entire cosmos was the audience, holding its breath, watching to see what frequency you would hold when the lights were down and the script was empty. You weren't watching the simulator. You were the simulator's central processor, and your test was to see if you could maintain a frequency of peace, of trust, of knowing, even when the screen of your reality was showing you nothing. Even when it was showing you the exact opposite of what you desired. This changes everything. It means that your internal state during that long period of observation was not a prelude to creation. It was the creation. Every moment you chose trust over fear, you were laying the foundational code for your new reality. Every moment you chose presence over anxiety, you were stabilizing the energetic grid. You weren't waiting for reality to catch up with you. Reality was waiting for you to stabilize your signal. Your graduation then was not a result of something you finally did. It wasn't an action you took. It wasn't an affirmation you finally got right. Your graduation was the inevitable consequence of who you became. The work is no longer external. It was never truly external to begin with. The entire paradigm of chasing, forcing, and hustling for a reality that is out there is now officially obsolete for you. That was the old program. A program designed to test your resolve, to forge your inner state into something unshakable. You passed. Creation is not about doing. It is about being the person who is the effortless vibrational match to the desired reality. And here is the secret that will unlock everything for you moving forward. The hard part is already over. You have already become that person. The observer phase was the furnace. It forged you. The person you are today, right now, listening to these words, is the version of you that is the causal power. This is how to know your observer phase is over. You receive this knowledge because you have become the vibrational match to it. This transmission, this very video, could not have found you if your internal frequency hadn't called it in. It's a confirmation, a cosmic receipt for a transformation that has already been completed within your very being. Let this sink deeper. What if the one thing you desire most has simply been waiting for you to complete this phase of observation before it could manifest? Let that possibility rewire your past. All that waiting, all that frustration, was not a denial. It was a gestation period. The universe was not saying no. It was saying, become the person who can hold this reality, and it is yours. You are no longer a person waiting for a sign. You are the sign. You are no longer a spiritual seeker, looking for answers in the world. You are the sought. You are the energetic beacon that reality itself now seeks out to organize itself around. You are graduating from observer to the observed. You are moving from being a planet, pulled into the orbit of circumstances, to becoming the sun. The central point, the gravitational anchor around which circumstances, people, and opportunities now must arrange themselves. Your job is no longer to watch. Your job is to simply be, to emanate, to hold the frequency of the reality you are, because you have already become it. This is the new physics of your existence. This is the power you have just unlocked. This graduation isn't just a feeling, it comes with a certificate. The universe has left undeniable signs in your recent past, quantum fingerprints that you may have misinterpreted as problems, as moments of confusion, or even as setbacks. They were not. They were the markers of your successful completion. Let's decode your certificate right now. The first sign is one of the most misunderstood, yet most powerful indicators that you have graduated. It is the dissolving of desire. You have noticed a strange feeling washing over you recently. a quiet detachment. Things you once chased with a burning, desperate energy now feel distant, not in a sad way, not in a way that suggests you have given up, but in a way that feels strangely peaceful, as if you have already arrived at a destination you did not even know you were traveling to. This is not apathy. Apathy is a low-frequency state of powerlessness. This is something else entirely. This is vibrational transcendence. The frequency of desire is rooted in lack. It is a broadcast to the quantum field that says, I do not have this. The energy of desperate wanting actually pushes the desired object away, because the dominant vibration is the absence of the thing itself. During your observer phase, as the universe watched you, your internal state stabilized at a higher frequency. You became the person who no longer needed that outcome to feel whole, peaceful, or powerful. And in that becoming, you vibrationally surpassed the very thing you once craved. The desire dissolved not because you failed to get it, but because you energetically outgrew it. You no longer need the validation from that relationship. You no longer need the security from that job title. You no longer need the approval that outcome would have given you. This feeling of serene detachment is the ultimate proof that your internal state has fundamentally and permanently shifted. It is the universe confirming that you are no longer a vibrational match to wanting. You are now a match to having. The second sign your graduation is complete is the sudden increase in neutral synchronicities. For months, maybe years, you were looking for big, flashy signs, a dramatic omen, a loud, clear message from the universe, and you likely received very few. But recently, you have started noticing something else. The little things, the quiet patterns. 11 on the clock, 4:44 on a license plate, seeing the same obscure word or symbol 3 times in a single day. Crucially, these signs do not carry a heavy emotional charge. They are neutral. They do not necessarily make you feel ecstatic or filled with profound meaning. They simply make you pause and think, that's strange. This neutrality is the key. Imagine the universe as a divine communications network. Before sending a critical, life-altering data package, your grand manifestation, it must first ensure the connection is stable. It sends pings. These neutral synchronicities are the pings. They are the universe testing the feedback loop between your consciousness and the quantum field. It is confirming that you are paying attention. It is calibrating the signal. Each time you notice a repeating number and acknowledge it without emotional desperation, you are sending a signal back that says, connection established. I am aware. I am ready to receive. These are not the messages themselves. They are the system checks before the real message is delivered. Your ability to notice them calmly is proof that the line is clear, the connection is stable, and the main download is imminent. The third sign is perhaps the most liberating of all. It is the sudden and total irrelevance of old problems. Think back. There was a major issue, a person or a circumstance that consumed your observational energy. It was a towering mountain in your reality. You spent countless hours observing it, analyzing it, worrying about it, trying to solve it from your position on the sidelines. It was the central focus of your training module in the simulator. And then, almost overnight, it just resolved. Or, perhaps more strangely, it did not resolve. But it simply ceased to matter. You woke up one morning and the immense emotional charge was gone. The problem that once defined your struggle now felt distant, small, like a story you heard about someone else a long time ago. You look at it and you can barely remember why it held so much power over you. This is the simulator decommissioning an old program. You have learned the lesson. You have held your frequency of peace and neutrality in the face of the storm. You have passed the test that this specific problem was designed to give you. And so, the program is uninstalled from your reality. The simulation ends. The universe does not waste energy running programs for lessons that have already been mastered. That feeling of sudden irrelevance is your official notification that the module is complete. You have graduated from that level of reality. Look back at the last few months. The desires that quietly faded, the neutral numbers that started appearing, the massive problems that suddenly vanished or became insignificant. Do you see? These are not random events. They are a coherent pattern. They are the trailing edge of a profound identity shift you have already undergone. They are the quantum fingerprints left behind on your graduation certificate. They are the receipts for your inner work, proving that you have successfully transitioned from a passive observer to the stabilized creator reality was waiting for. In the comments below, declare which of these 3 signs of graduation you have been experiencing: the dissolving of desire, the neutral synchronicities, the irrelevant problems. Let's create a powerful collective witness to this massive shift. I will read every single one. You understand this on an intellectual level. You have seen the proof laid out before you. Now we move beyond knowing, we move into being. Let's embody this graduation. This is not a visualization. This is your coronation. So find a place where you can be undisturbed for the next few minutes. Sit comfortably with your spine aligned but not rigid. And when you are ready, gently allow your eyes to close. Take a slow, deep breath in, filling your lungs completely. And as you exhale, release the day. Release the mind. Release the identity of the person who began this video. They are no longer you. Bring your awareness to the space behind your eyes, the silent, dark screen of consciousness. For months, perhaps years, this has been your primary home, the seat of the observer. I want you to see this observer self now. Not as a concept, but as a presence. See it as a vast, silent field of awareness. Like a deep, midnight blue sky, infinite and dotted with the wisdom of a billion stars. It is calm. It is vast. It is utterly still and imperturbable. This is the consciousness that watched your life unfold without judgment. The part of you that held the space for every potential. The part of you that endured the long stillness of the final test. Feel the profound wisdom in that stillness. The incredible strength it took not to interfere, not to collapse a reality from fear or impatience. This observer self is pure cosmic awareness. It has been your guardian, your guide through the quantum simulator, and its primary mission is now complete. From this place of gratitude, silently or aloud, thank this aspect of yourself. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your unwavering presence. Feel that gratitude resonate through the vastness of this inner space. Acknowledge its service. Honor its power. Now, gently allow your awareness to drift downwards, down from the silent theater of the mind, through the throat, and into the center of your chest, into your heart space. And here, you will feel a very different energy. This is the creator self. If the observer was the silent, vast cosmos, the creator is a vibrant, brilliant sun at its center. Feel it. It is not still. It is a radiant, dynamic sphere of pure potential. It hums with an electromagnetic charge, a golden white light that contains the blueprint for every reality you could ever desire. This is the engine of manifestation, the furnace of creation. This creator self has been waiting. Patiently, powerfully. It has been waiting for the observer to complete its training, to stabilize the field so that its immense power could be unleashed with precision and purpose, not with chaos. Feel its readiness, its excitement, the raw, untamed potential coiled within it, ready to spring forth not as hope, but as command. This is your power, your sovereign right, the energy that bends reality to your will. Breathe into this heart center. With every inhale, feel that sun grow brighter, warmer, more intense. With every exhale, feel its electromagnetic field expand outwards, pulsing with life. You have honored the observer. You have activated the creator. Now begins the integration, the coronation. From the vast, silent space of your awareness, see the observer self begin to move. Picture that deep, starry cosmos, that field of pure consciousness, beginning to gently flow downwards. It is a waterfall of liquid starlight, a cascade of silent wisdom, pouring down from the mind into the heart. And as this cool, calm, infinite awareness touches the brilliant, hot sun of the Creator, watch what happens. It does not extinguish the fire. It gives it coherence. The Creator's raw power is now infused with the observer's infinite wisdom. The dynamic energy is now guided by the calm, steady hand of pure presence. The sun does not dim. It becomes a focused, conscious star. Its light becomes a laser. Its heat becomes intentional. Feel this union in your core, the absolute stillness of the universe, and the explosive power of a sun coexisting within you. This is the birth of a new being, the conscious architect of reality. You are no longer just the awareness that watches. You are no longer just the energy that creates. You are both, unified, integrated, whole. Feel this new state of being, the deep, unshakable peace of the observer, now married to the vibrant, forward-moving authority of the Creator. There is no longer a separation between seeing and doing. Your seeing is your doing. Your being is your creating. From this unified state, feel the quantum field around you, the very air in the room. It feels different now, doesn't it? It is no longer a neutral space you inhabit. It is a responsive medium. It is listening. It is leaning in, awaiting your first decree as the graduated architect. It can feel your coronation. It can sense your new authority. It is ready. Take one more deep breath, anchoring this feeling of unified power deep within your cells. And slowly, when you are ready, begin to bring your awareness back to your physical body, to the feeling of the chair beneath you, to the sounds in the room. And in your own time, gently open your eyes. Welcome back, architect. As you return to this moment, what single word defines the feeling of your creator self? Is it authority? Is it flow? Is it presence? Anchor that word in your heart. Welcome, architect. Your residency as an observer is over. Your old life, the one where you felt like a spectator watching a film of your own existence, has been decommissioned. Your new operating system is based on command, not on hope. It is based on declaration, not on desire. So many ask, how do you use the observer effect for reality creation now that you have graduated? The answer is profound in its simplicity. You no longer merely observe to understand. You now observe to command. Your gaze is no longer passive. It is an active, generative force. It is the tool that selects a reality from the infinite field of potential and gives it the instruction to become solid, to become your experience. Here is your initial toolkit. These are the first 3 functions you need to master in the control room of your reality. The first is called the first decree. A decree is not a wish. It is not an affirmation that you hope will become true. A decree is a formal and authoritative order. It is a statement of fact issued from a place of absolute authority, declaring a new state of being into existence. As the graduated observer, the unified architect, your consciousness is now the seat of that authority. When you issue a decree, you are not asking the universe for permission. You are informing the universe of how things now are. This is a declaration of what is now true. It is a command issued to the quantum field, which is the very fabric of your extended self. It must obey. It has no other choice. To build your confidence with this new power, we begin with something small, tangible, and non-negotiable. Choose something you can easily accept as possible, something that doesn't trigger a tidal wave of internal resistance. It could be finding a parking spot exactly when you need it. It could be receiving an unexpected compliment. It could be the sudden appearance of a green light as you approach an intersection. Do not ask for it. Do not hope for it. You will state it as a fact that has already been arranged. In a calm, centered state from that place of unified power you just embodied, you will say either aloud or within your mind, I decree a clear path. The traffic lights are synchronized for my arrival. Or, I decree a perfect parking space is now available for me at the front. Then you release it completely. You do not check to see if it's working. You do not worry about the outcome. You have signed the order. The physics of creation are now handling the logistics. Your job is to move forward in the absolute knowing that it is done. This is how you begin to remember the feeling of your own power. The second tool is the attention diet. As a reality architect, your attention is now the most valuable currency in the universe. It is the life-giving energy that constructs and sustains realities. Where your attention goes, the bricks and mortar of reality are laid. Before, your attention was scattered. unconsciously feeding realities you did not want. You would observe your lack of money, and in doing so you funded the continuation of that lack. You would observe a difficult relationship, and your focus was the very energy that sustained the conflict. You are now on a strict attention diet. You must consciously and ruthlessly withdraw your observation from old, unwanted blueprints. To observe a problem is to command it to continue existing. To complain about a reality is to pour concrete into its foundations. This requires discipline. It requires you to become a vigilant guardian of your focus. When your mind drifts to the old story, the story of struggle, of loneliness, of not being enough, you must catch it. You do not fight it. You do not judge it. You simply acknowledge it as an echo from a decommissioned timeline and gently, deliberately withdraw your attention. You starve the old reality of its life force, and it must, by law, dissolve. What is the very first old, draining reality you will officially decommission by withdrawing your observation, starting today? Be precise. Naming it is the first act of a creator. Is it the story of financial struggle? Is it the feeling of being unseen? Is it a chronic health issue you have identified with for years? Name it now. This is your official act of decommissioning. By naming it, you are flagging it in your quantum field for dissolution. You are revoking its access to your creative energy. From this moment on, you will treat thoughts about it like advertisements for a product you would never buy. You see them, you recognize them, and you let them pass without engagement. This brings us to the third tool, disentanglement from the echo. As you begin to operate from this new level of consciousness, you must understand a critical principle. The 3D world has a time lag. It is like a great cosmic echo. Just because you have issued a new decree and shifted your attention, it does not mean the old reality will vanish in an instant. There will be a period where you see the echo of your past vibrational state playing out in your physical world. A bill might arrive in the mail an hour after you decreed your financial abundance. An old acquaintance might bring up a painful memory just as you decided to embody a new self-concept. This is the most critical test of the new architect. The untrained consciousness sees this echo and panics. It says, "See, it's not working. Nothing has changed." And in that moment of doubt, it withdraws its energy from the new blueprint and reinvests it right back into the old one, rebuilding the very prison it just decided to leave. You must learn to see these echoes for what they are, artifacts of a decommissioned timeline. They are like the wake behind a boat that has already turned in a new direction. They are ghosts. They have no power over you unless you give it to them. When an echo of the old reality appears, you are to smile. Acknowledge it without emotional charge. You will say to yourself, "Ah, look, an artifact from the old simulator program. How interesting." And you hold your attention firmly on the new reality you have decreed. You treat the echo as irrelevant, as old news, as a shadow from a world that no longer exists. By refusing to energize it with your reaction, you allow it to fade completely. This is mastery. To make this practical, here is your integration framework. A simple daily practice to solidify your new identity as an architect. In the morning, before you do anything else, perform your first decree. Set a clear, simple intention for the day from a place of command, not request. I decree a day of effortless flow and joyful synchronicities. During the day, practice the attention diet. Be a vigilant guardian of your focus. Every time you catch yourself observing or complaining about a reality you do not want, gently withdraw your energy. Starve the old blueprint. In the evening before you sleep, spend a moment in gratitude for the new reality's construction. Even if you haven't seen its physical form yet, feel the gratitude for the fact that your decree has been heard, and the quantum field is already rearranging itself to match your command. This gratitude is the signal that you trust the process, that you know it is already done. This is your new life. It is a life of conscious, deliberate creation. It is a life of power, precision, and grace. Your training is over. Your work has just begun. You are no longer an observer. You are an architect. You have the understanding, you have witnessed the signs of your own profound shift, and you now hold the initial toolkit for conscious creation. You have graduated. This is not a metaphor. It is a change in your fundamental energetic signature. The universe no longer relates to you as a student in a simulator. It now relates to you as a colleague, a fellow architect at the grand design table. But mastering your personal reality is just the first level of creation. It is the foundational training. Your consciousness is not an isolated system. It is not a sealed biodome, separate from everything else. It is a powerful, coherent broadcasting tower, and its signal is entangled with every other point of consciousness in the universe. You have learned to construct your own perfect building. Now you must discover how your blueprint connects to the entire city. When a conscious architect of reality understands the laws of quantum entanglement, they stop just building their own reality and start influencing the collective reality. Individual power becomes cosmic co-creation. You move from designing a life to co-authoring a new paradigm. You shift from personal manifestation to planetary evolution. This is the magnitude of the power that has been unlocked within you. It was never just about getting what you want. It was always about becoming the person who could help create what is needed. That is exactly where we are going next. Subscribe and activate all notifications because your training as a reality architect begins now. In our next video, Quantum Entanglement Explained. How your consciousness instantly affects everything. We move from individual creation to cosmic influence. We will explore the hard science of non-local influence, how your internal state can and does affect another person, another place, another outcome, instantly, without any physical connection. We will dismantle the illusion of separation once and for all, not as a spiritual belief, but as a scientific fact. Then, in the transmission after that, we will explore why active creation is easier than you think. It's not about doing, it's about being. We will show you how the identity you have forged in stillness is now the engine of all your creation, making effort and struggle completely obsolete. Your graduation was not just for you, it was for all of us. Welcome to the next stage of your evolution. The real work begins now.